Welcome, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome live to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk right here on YouTube.com. It is Global MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo and Michael Bullock. We are live and we are waiting for Michael Bullock. Dee Woodson is here with Anthony, and guys, we it's going to be a big night. It is definitely a big night. Obviously, we got SmackDown Live, but before I start with SmackDown Live, I did get to talk with some of the big shots, the big wigs from another wrestling company, Dynamite Championship Wrestling, DCW. They are listening at this hour, and a lot of the superstars and the talent. So what we're gonna do is, well, here we go, guys. It is a big announcement that was done, and yesterday they announced that there's gonna be a new tournament called the Jackpot Invitational. It is basically, um, it is gonna be one of the most creative tournaments we've ever had in the history of the company. So, what's going to happen is basically it is 12 wrestlers, 12 competitors. They're going to be battling it out in an IWGP G1 format classic. So, what it is there's going to be two groups, six in each group, six competitors in each group. And what they'll do is then they'll start it out, and it all starts tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on TNT Jack 91's Twitch channel. So, what's it going to be? How's this going to play out? So, here's how it goes down, ladies and gentlemen. We got Group A and Group B. So, now the rest of the world wants to know, who are the groups? All right. So, starting off, Group A, we got one of the top guys from Connecticut, Rage Master. The next one, the next competitor in this is the man, the myth, the legend from Splash Mountain himself. Woo! It's Fat Nate. The bruising, beat down, in your face style brawler from New York, RV3 Raw Vega. Number 4, from Mother Russia, Damien Drago. The 5th competitor, well, basically, all you just know is he's the Archangel, Mike Fletcher Jr. And the 6th and final competitor is the tough, bruising, in your face, Dean Shaw. So those are your 6 for Group A. For Group B, so from Group B, here they are. We start off with the man from the docks of San Francisco, California, Tugboat Tumor. The second man is going to be weaving in all the way from Belgium. It's Crispy Fernandos. The third competitor is representing, well, from New York, and definitely one of the odds-on favorites to win it all, Seth Tricky. The fourth representative in this tournament on Group B, from Lincoln, Rhode Island, Bongo. The fifth competitor in this tournament in the Jackpot Invitational, Group B, he's from the land of Equestria, Prince Pony, Kev Dev, and finally the sixth man from Hollywood, California, Hollywood, Bobby Mundo. So that's it, guys. That's the 12. That's going to be a part of it. Now, the way it goes down is basically each man has to face everybody. So there's a limit of 5 matches that each person will face. time limit is 10 minutes per match in these opening rounds. The top guys who goes through will get to fight in a single elimination. Now, I believe the top 8 go through, 4 get left behind. Then it's single elimination, quarterfinals, semifinals, and the championship. And the winner of the championship fight will receive a cash prize. Now, in in uh in TNT Jack 91's podcast, or when he does this show on Twitch, it's normally dimes that gets put up for grabs. Dimes to bet on matches, other things that goes on. At the end of the day, each match is worth 20,000 dimes. The winner gets 20,000 dimes. If in case there's a time limit draw, both men receive 10,000 dimes. The winner of the entire tournament last year, which was Bronx Bombers, he walked away with 1,000,000 dimes. This time, we don't know what the limit is. Could it be 500,000? Could it be 1,000,000? Can it be 2? We will find out tomorrow night. TNT Jack 91 Twitch on Twitch TV, and I hope you guys are ready because it will be unbelievable. So get ready, guys. It's going to be one hell of a party, one hell of an event. And this is not just a one-night event. This will be going on for the next few weeks. It's not one night. It's probably going to go a while. At least 3 weeks is what I've heard. So, qualifying matches start tomorrow, continue on Saturday through IWF. So, that's it for the Mikey's Mindset. That was the big news of the night. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the real reason why you're here, SmackDown Live. We are indeed live, and we are going to kick it. We're going to kick it big time now. So, what's going to happen? What type of fallout do we get? Well, there's really nothing more to say. Let's just dive right in. SmackDown Live this time from Sacramento, California, exclusively on the USA Network. And we started this all off. Well, we started it off with The Miz as he was as he started Miz TV, cut a promo, then got eliminated by Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, and Elias. Of course, the mid-card Team of Doom. They talked about the Saudi Arabia situation that went down. And then we had the first official fight of the night, which was The Miz versus Elias. Miz wins in 5 minutes. It looks like he had to run a gauntlet here. But then the second fight was basically Drew McIntyre versus The Miz. And Drew McIntyre won the match in 5 minutes and 50 seconds. All right. So, the way I think about the show, the way this broke down for me was basically, look, I'm going to say it. Great start. Great match. Great way to start the show. I thought the promo was really good. I loved the way that, this was a really good promo. This was a really good segment. Actually, well delivered. Nice heat on Shane. The Miz, great job on his part as well. And I kind of felt like this was fine. As far as the matches go, I think the Drew McIntyre fight was better. So I didn't mind that at all. I thought it was a pretty good match. It was better than the one with Elias, and I'll say that. So I thought this was solid. So probably a non-wrestling segment of the night to start it off. Then on top of that, we had a decent matches. I could say maybe 1.5 to 2-on-1. About a 2-star on Drew McIntyre versus The Miz. All in all, good start to the show. Anthony Florio, it's all yours, my friend. What did you think about the opening of the show?
Well, I'll tell you, MF. Before I get into that, I just wanted to explain what happened last Friday. I had a very special family outing beyond my control, so I was unable to be a part of our Super Showdown recap. And then last night, of course, we all had commitments beyond our control, and that's why I had no choice but to pull Ridiculously Raw for this week. But hopefully we'll be back on next week. But in a way, I'm kind of glad because it was another show as usual. But it's not about that tonight. It's about SmackDown Live. But anyways, as far as the opening thing goes, Miz was forced into hosting a Miz TV because of Shane O'Mac and Drew McIntyre. But I liked Miz's fire here. Shane was a bit more tolerable than usual, though the crowd did start to get a little restless toward the end. Miz has been most effective as a babyface playing off of Shane, and it still feels like he should really get a clean win over him at some point. I don't know when that will be, but it is what it is. Now, as far as everything else goes, portions of the match with Drew were fine, but this was not anything worth going out of your way to see. I thought perhaps Miz was going to catch a surprise win over Shane, but having him tap out cleanly in such little time, even after facing 2 other opponents, made him seem rather weak, if I'm going to be honest with you. So, let's see. Let's do some quick math here. First match, I'm going to give 1 star for that. Second match, I'm going to give about 2. And the third, I'm going to give a dud. So that's all I can say on that. I think those are the appropriate ratings for all the matches. So nothing more to say. Edie Woodson, welcome back. I mean, I know you've been battling a very bad illness over the last week or so. Try not to take too much time because we want you at your best.
Yeah, and as you can tell, my voice is still pretty shaky too. So, the segment as a whole, it was, it served its purpose. It was all right. It was probably the best segment the SmackDown had tonight. First match, I'm giving no rating. I mean, I didn't really care much for it. McIntyre will give 2 stars. Shane McMahon, no rating. I mean, this 30 minutes of Shane to start off the show was not the best idea that they had. So, not much more I'm going to say about it. Let's move on.
All right, so the next thing that we had on the show, I hate to say this, but we got a lot of cutouts here. I didn't want to do it, but I'm gonna be forced to. If we want to talk about it, just jump in and and you guys can we'll go from there. So we started the it off with it looks like Daniel Bryan was cutting a promo, whatever. Then Heavy Machinery fought 2 local guys, 1 in 49 seconds. All right, fine. Then we had a one-on-one match. It was Sonya Deville versus Carmella, and Sonya Deville wins the match by 4 minutes and 11 seconds. But I hate to say this, but our Anthony's little crush, Mandy Rose, kind of stuck her nose where it didn't belong and interfered in the fight. I think we already know how that's gonna play out. So, then the next thing we had was a promo segment by the New Day, interrupted by, it looks like, let me see. It looks like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Dolph Ziggler. And then, let me see. It looks like they did a 6-man. Anthony? Did they announce a 6-man tag team fight for the
For this show. For this show? For
no,
the
for
paper.
Stomping Grounds? Yeah.
No, that's not Stopping Grounds. That was tonight.
6-man tag.
New Day, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. That's your main
Ooh.
event here this evening.
All right. All right. So, do you want to talk about it? Talk about the segment, or do you want to just move on?
Actually, I do want to get into this promo because this actually was relevant here.
Okay.
So
Anthony, go ahead.
New Day was great here. I think having Big E really reestablishes their dynamic, and it's refreshing to have him back in the fold. This is only the second time we've seen him in any major capacity since Kofi Kingston won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. The other time, of course, MF, you and I should know, we were there 3 weeks ago in Providence. But the joke at the beginning was rather clever, too. Dolph Ziggler's promo wasn't quite as much of a hit, as he seemed to, again, delve into more of the quote-unquote community theater promo territory, if I'm being honest. So that's really all I have to say about the segment, MF. It was a good segment. Another one of the segments of the night.
Didi, do you want to at least do you want to give a quick thought, or do you just want to move on?
Oh, it was a good segment. It was good to see Big E back. Definitely was very relevant, especially leading up to the main event. So I'm not going to add much more to it.
All right. Now we did get another match. It was Nikki Cross 1-on-1 with SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, and when it was all said and done, Bayley wins the match in 6 minutes and 55 seconds. Didi, do you want to talk about this quick?
I'll give it about 2 stars. It was fairly okay. I mean, Bayley's definitely getting her momentum back after the loss on Raw. But I think we got to see a little bit of Alexa's true colors again. Her trying to use people, and Nikki just being so vulnerable because she doesn't have any friends and trying to cling to the only one she has. I think there at the end when she was, well, especially on Raw, if you go back to Raw, you could tell that she, saw that something wasn't quite right. And then I think tonight she kind of realized a little bit too, but it was still a good fight. I just hope Nikki wises up that Alexa's actually using her and not being a friend like she thinks. So not much more I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, two-star fight, no doubt about it. I agree with that. It was a good match. It was solid for what it was worth. It was not much to really hype or ride home about, but it was still solid for what it was worth. I got really nothing more to say. And Anthony, I give it to you quick.
2 stars, not much to it. Showcase match for Bayley to further the angle with Alexa Bliss. And I'm hopeful that Nikki Cross will, wind up more than this eventually. We all know she is a competent in-ring worker. And it's just, I really don't like what they're doing with her character right now. This is a classic example of what I've been preaching about the last couple of weeks. When you're in NXT or any other wrestling company like AEW, Impact, or ROH, when you're a performer for those companies, you get to be yourself. They let you be yourself. But when you're in the WWE, well, you get treated like a damn child. And that's what they're doing to Nikki Cross. They're not letting her be herself. Do I have to spell it out any further? Let's move on.
All right. So now we lead right into the main event, the 6-man tag team fight. And the winners of the bout in 16 minutes and 33 seconds was the New Day. Fight of the night. Well done. Great match. Look, this saved the show. This saved the show from being at the level of Monday Night Raw. It wasn't the greatest show, no doubt about it. This was definitely a 50-50 show, but this fight alone, 3 to 3.5 stars. Great, great, great match. To say the very least, I got nothing else to say. Anthony, it's yours.
3.5, you say?
Yep.
Same here. 3.5 stars. Yes, it was a very good match. I actually do have one small negative about the match. Yes, the match had its moments. The only downside on that was Xavier Woods. He was isolated far too long, and it somewhat bogged down the match considerably a little bit. But the crowd, started to get restless. But they did come alive when Big E got the hot tag. And for some people, it is hard to get invested in these kinds of matches, particularly when they happen so frequently on SmackDown and, for the most part, Monday Night Raw as well. So, but other than that little nitpick, it was still a great, great matchup, though. 3.5 stars. I agree with MF's rating. So, nothing more to say. Didi, a quick thought?
Yeah, about 3.5 stars. It was a pretty good overall match, but it never really jumped into high gear. And Sammy and Kevin and Dolph, they're not really big threatening heels because they're almost always beaten down in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, it definitely did save the show though, because the show was just the storyline stuff was there that we always hype about, but the quality was just really downhill. So not much more I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah, and that's it, guys. So it's time for the overall review very quickly. Um, Didi, what's in it? I'll give it to you very quick, and so that you can go on and get some rest.
I'm gonna give it probably about 5 stars, just because of the fact that we did have maybe about 3 matches that you were actually able to rate, that weren't just thrown out there. But there was just way too many matches tonight. Very rushed show. Um, and it's like they were just trying to throw too much stuff into 2 hours, and not giving enough time for you to even process what they're throwing out there. So like I said, there was some storyline stuff in there, but still just really not the best SmackDown as we've had in the past. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Hopefully, I'll see you guys next week.
All right, definitely get some rest, Didi. Definitely get some rest, my dear. All right, we're thinking about you. We're thinking about you and your family. All right, I'm with Didi on this. This is at least 5.5. I think it was an okay show. The New Day, like I said, the 6-man tag was really the big factor of the show. Even the opening segment, the talking segment was better than the matches, to say the very least. But other than that, it was really a very average show. It's something that you don't expect from SmackDown Live. You expect them to go a little more bigger, a little more fancier, a little more crazier. But I kind of felt like they really missed the mark here tonight. And, it was, I don't want to say they were drinking the Kool-Aid of Monday Night Raw, but they were drinking the Kool-Aid of Monday Night Raw. It was a very average, mediocre show. It was probably a little better than Raw, but not by much. Not by much at all. Anthony Florio, go ahead. 5.5 for me.
Yeah, that's about right. An improvement over last week's show, but it was still another forgettable by the numbers show. Finn Balor, where was he? Strangely absent again, which is becoming increasingly standard. Much of the SmackDown Live roster continues to go unused now that ridiculous wildcard rule is in effect. Yes, the announcers actually acknowledge that the rule of 4 has been broken 2 weeks in a row now. That's not typically continuity or acknowledgement I expect to see from WWE. Again, while it is by and large an acceptable way to spend 2 hours, it does not feel like this show has much forward momentum or intrigue heading into what will undoubtedly be a very slow summer season coming up. And a lot of the problems within WWE right now, I mean, Didi said there were too many matches. With all due respect, I disagree. The problem is talking segments. Those are becoming increasingly a little too much, especially over on Monday Night Raw. That's the problem with Raw. There's way more talking and less wrestling, and that's ridiculous. I mean, I understand that that there has to be some. I understand. I get it. But I don't know. But if we were running things, let me tell you, that our shows would not be coming in at like 5.5, or God forbid lower each and every week. We know what we're talking about. Thing is, we know what's best for business. I know what's best for business. MF knows what's best for business. Michael Bullock knows what's best for business. Dee Dee Whitson knows what's best for business. Derek Ferreira knows what's best for business. The five of us, we know what's best for business. They don't. There would be more competitive matches, at least 1 or 2 championship matches on each show. That's what we would do. The talking segments, we would reduce to like maybe 1, maybe 2 a show, instead of the 4 or 5 that they cram down our throats each and every week. So that's really all there is, to say about it. And, for the last few weeks, I mean, I actually have a reason to actually feel somewhat good here, because SmackDown Live hasn't been kicking our butts the last few weeks. I mean, man alive. I mean, I thought for sure SmackDown Live was going to wipe the floor with Raw again, but no. Right now, both shows are tanking. And we're sinking, man. We're sinking. So, I don't know, man. But the slow summer season approaching, I'm afraid these shows are going to be the norm throughout the summer season. And I think once football starts back up and, the fall stuff starts, I am hopeful that will be the turning point, and then we'll finally get those competitive shows and those exciting shows that we crave each and every week. Come on, man. No more throwaways. We're sick of it. So I could go on, but I don't want to go any further on this, because if I do, I'm about to break the 4th damn wall, and you don't want that. Let's move on.
All right. So, with that said, we won't break that 4th wall. Thank you. But we will call it a night. We are done. And Anthony Florio, why don't you come on in and hit us with the preview for Strictly Sports on Friday night?
All right, I'd be happy to. Good news, bad news. The bad news is there is a hard times story that we very much have to address. But thankfully, it's only one. But the one hard time story, it's as hard times as it gets. Especially if you're a Boston Red Sox fan, Michael Bullock, and almost everybody that MF and I know. Big Papi. I'm sure you heard about it. David Ortiz, Sunday night, was shot in the Dominican Republic. We'll bring you the latest on that. But other than that, it's all positive stuff the rest of the way. We do have some hot stove, 3 hot stove stories, 2 from baseball, 1 from the NBA. Craig Kimbrell signing with the Chicago Cubs, to the delight of Matt Ward. MF, I know you were very happy about this one. Your Atlanta Braves getting Dallas Keuchel. How in the hell did that happen? Wow. But I know MF's going to be very happy to get into that. And then the Brooklyn Nets trade Alan Crabb or Krabby. I don't know how to say it. I don't even know who this guy is. Traded him to the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know why that's relevant, but all right, we'll get into that. Now,
it was a money move, which basically opened up the cap space so that the Brooklyn Nets could actually now go after 2 max players. So now they have the money to sign Kevin Durant and another player. But I'll explain more about it on Friday night.
Yeah, please do. Because I know nothing about this. Now, the NBA Finals are still going on. They were this close to ending last night. Very, very close. 5-star game. Far and away the best game of the series last night. Now, if the Toronto Raptors close it out on Thursday night in Golden State, we will have our recap of the NBA Finals. However, the Golden State Warriors force a winner-take-all Game 7 in Toronto on Father's Day Sunday night. Then we'll probably push that back to the following week's show. But one thing is for sure, we will recap the Stanley Cup Finals. We will have a winner tomorrow night. The 2 most exciting words in all the sports, Game 7, the St. Louis Blues, the Boston Bruins, TD Garden, winner take all for the most beautiful trophy in all the sports. Are we going to have yet another road celebration for the 4th year in a row? Or will the Boston Bruins be the first team to win the whole shebang at home since Ward's Blackhawks 4 years ago? Only time will tell. We'll find that out tomorrow night. And then, of course, the Major League Baseball Power Rankings to close it out. So Big Papi, Craig Kimbrell, Dallas Keuchel, the Nets trading Alan Crabb to the Hawks, Stanley Cup Final recap for sure, NBA Finals, it depends on what happens Thursday night, and the Major League Baseball Power Rankings. So a great show coming up for you Friday night at 10:30 over on the Tone 25. Yes, I'll be here this time, barring another last-minute surprise family outing. So there's really nothing more to say except MF, let's put the bow on this thing, and I cannot wait for tomorrow night. We're going to have a lot of fun. First time in 8 years we're doing that, a Game 7. Nothing more exciting.
Nothing more exciting. Yeah, it's going to be great. So we really got nothing more to say. So that's it. We're done for the night. So for Anthony Florio, for Didi Woodson, I am Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. And so long for now. Bye-bye.